Let's make some Christmas crack. We don't even have to tell anybody that we make it. We can keep it hidden in that secret place.
Seriously though, I think you're gonna be glad you found this video. At least I really hope you are. Christmas crack is basically easy, but there's a couple of hard spots, and to be totally honest, it took me about 10 or 12 times to get it right. There was some confusing information out there. Not all the videos that I watched led to success. Some of them misled me, so I hope this one does not mislead you. I'll show you all the places that I kind of went wrong and kind of point out the places to sort of focus on. And you'll see the basic process is easy. You have options, and no matter what happens, it's delicious, and they're gonna ask you to make it again. So you'll get more practice. It's all good. So let's get started here. Go ahead, we'll get all the stuff together. I'll show you all the ingredients we need, the stuff we need, and how I make Christmas crack. Let's go. Okay, here are the basic ingredients we're going to need. And you have some options with some of this. The first thing you need is sort of the base layer is crackers, something crunchy. This is my personal favorite. I love these little, I'll show you, they don't call them waffle, they call them snaps or whatever, but waffle pretzels. They just fit really well together, and I can get a lot of them in the bottom of the sheet. You can use saltines, you could use Ritz crackers, you could use matzah, you could use pretty much anything that's kind of salty, crunchy that you want. But I really like the way pretzels turn out for me, so I like that. Then we need 2 sticks of butter. That's a half cup, I believe, no, 2 cups. That's a half pound. And then we're gonna need about a cup of light brown sugar. And this is, you don't have a choice, right? This is the toffee, basically. So there's kind of the crunchy layer, we'll do the toffee, and then this you have options as well. These are toppings. Some kind of chocolate. I like semi-sweet. You could use milk, you could use dark, you could kind of do whatever you want there. You could use white, half dark, whatever you want. And you kind of as much as you want. There's not really a limit here. I use 1 bag, which is 10 ounces, I think, or they're 12 ounces. This is 12 ounces. That's for sort of the top. Then you have one more option for this one, and so far mostly I've used sea salt flakes. It just adds a nice sort of salty crunchiness to the top, but you could use sprinkles, you could use chopped nuts, you could use any tiny little M&Ms, anything you want to sprinkle over the top. I wouldn't do anything really large, like, I mean, I guess you could do like an almond or something, but that seems a little big for me. I would do something small. But that's basically it. For equipment, we're going to need a half sheet pan. Ideally 2 of them, and you'll see why later, but you really only need 1, okay? You're gonna need like a 2-quart pan, like the pot saucepan, like this. It's nice if it's something like this. This is all clad, so it heats really evenly. So it's nice and thick and heats evenly, but it's probably the nicest one you have. Then I'll also need a little bit of aluminum foil. I highly recommend the heavy duty long stuff. This isn't the same as, this is your regular aluminum foil. This is wider. I really like this stuff in general, and this is kind of my go-to wrap for a lot of things. It's really wide and will fit the cookie sheet. We're gonna go this way with it so we can get a really good wrap, but it also goes well this way. We need that, and a couple other little things. We're gonna need some cooking spray, like Pam, a lot of people will call this, but some kind of, oily stuff we can spray on there. Like a lot of my videos so far, we're gonna need a couple of silicone spatulas are really good. And then at the end, if you've got it, this is super handy. It's definitely not necessary. There's a million other things to use, but I really like using a dough cutter. This is like an Amazon Basics one, I think. They're cheap, and I use it for making bread and stuff as well. And that's really mostly why I have it. But they're really good for a lot of things. If you don't have one, maybe get one. But you don't need it for this. Anything even like that will work, or even a knife will work just fine. So, all right, now let's get to mixing things up. Actually, we're gonna do the cookie sheet here first. First thing I'm gonna do right now is I'm preheating the oven to 400 degrees. Okay, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, let's get this started. But the first thing I'm gonna do, this is one of the tips is, so the key with this is the toffee has to cook well. If the toffee doesn't cook enough and doesn't set, it's just not gonna be right. You'll get kind of chewy, kind of sticky toffee, which isn't bad. It's still edible. It's just not, it's not that crisp toffee we really want. So I start with the a sheet pan here. And the reason we want to, I'll show you, is let's just do this one first. I'm gonna set that other one aside for just a moment. And now you could go this way, but I want it to get really good coverage. So I'm gonna cover this end to end. This is like a brand new one. If you pull it off enough to cover it, I'm gonna go a little bit further because I have a hole in it. Okay, oh, sorry, that is noisy. And then, see, I've got a hole here, so I'm actually gonna cut that off real quick. Okay, just like that, fall on the floor. Okay, so then what I like to do, I'm trying to find the cookie sheet underneath, right? So I'm looking for the corners. I think I got them there. I think I got them there. That way I know I've got the aluminum foil in basically the right place. Then, before you push it down or do anything, I take another sheet pan of the same size. It's got to be exactly the same kind or size, and push it down like this. Then lift it up, and you can see we've got 80-90% of what we need right now. And the really cool thing, what I'm doing by doing this is keeping this flat. I'm trying to minimize the wrinkles and bumps in the bottom so I get a really nice flat bottom. Okay, then my sort of key thing is the corners. So go to a corner and I'm pushing into the corner and tucking the aluminum foil on top. And that kind of locks that corner a little bit. Then I'll go to the opposite corner while holding that one and push it down. And I've got kind of a tight line across here, right? And I'll push that in, I'm kind of holding it. I'm trying to hold it sort of into the corner. And I crinkle that and tuck it. Right? Then I'm basically gonna do the same thing to the other two corners. Well, kind of, okay. All right, so I do this to kind of push it all down, then tuck, and just trying to be nice to it. I'm gonna get some wrinkles, but the fewer I get, the better. By the way, this is the same exact way I do bacon. I've found that when there's too many wrinkles in the bottom, the bacon just doesn't cook right. The fat will all pool up in one area and you don't get nice even cooking. So now I'm holding the sides, kind of the same sort of thing, but I'll put 2 fingers into the side and I'm pushing down pretty hard. I'm trying to hold that bottom steady. Well, see what I did? I messed it up. I'm tucking the sides down. All right, so that's the basic name of the game is get the bottom flat, then hold the sides really well as you fold the tops down. And that way you can sort of preserve that really nice bottom. And you will be more thankful as you start putting things on here and we get a better, there we go, result. Okay. Next, I'll show you a little bit of this, but we're gonna have to speed this up for sure. It's gonna take about 800,000 of these little pretzels to cover the bottom. And if you do choose to use these, the one thing I would point out is they're not square, they're rectangles. So they fit better. I like to do them sort of the long way. all the way, and then I'll probably have to do one row the other way. But at least for my pan, they fit really pretty tightly. So I would just say, just experiment. Do one line like this, like of the short. See, I'm trying to tuck it in that corner. I just want to cover every bit I can with pretzel. Yeah, this is actually a little, I think it might be my foil is up a little bit, but it's okay, right? To be totally honest, you could throw the pretzels in here and throw the toffee in here and then throw the chocolate on top and it would still taste amazing. But it's just it's a nicer, I think, more consistent product and presentation if it's neat. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know I kind of tend to make things a little neat. I don't know why. I like things neat. So, all right. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do the rest of these and speed it up, okay? Have fun watching in about 10 seconds what it's going to take me about 3 minutes to do. Okay, there we go. It's a bit tedious, but it's also a bit like a really super easy jigsaw puzzle because every piece goes wherever you put it. But you can see I got them in there pretty well. One little trick, sometimes you can be lucky enough to find one that looks like this. The corners of my cookie sheet are pretty rounded, so the sharper edges don't really fit really well. And that one fits really awesome in the corner there, so. But again, it's not super important. See, I'd almost want to break the corner off of this one. Watch that. And that'll fit better and it's more satisfying that way. Okay, so this is really probably hard part number one, if you want to call this a hard part. And it is a little hard. The little bit frustrating thing if you get them this tight is they're gonna move again when we start putting the toffee on. So I tried to get it all perfect, but no, it's probably gonna change a little bit. So guess what? I forgot the cooking spray. Good news is I know exactly how many pretzels I need. So I'm gonna take these out and we're gonna spray it. It's unfortunate. But this is important. We don't want anything to stick to here. So I'm gonna take this to the sink. I like to do this over the sink, so any overspray, so spray like that, but any overspray will go into the sink and not on my counter. So 1 sec. Okay, so now you can see I've got it everywhere, pretty well coated. And not gonna make you watch this, I'll speed it up, but I'm gonna put all these guys back on here. Now, whee! Okay, we now have it back. So, now let's go back to the stove and make the toffee, finally. Okay, now we're over at the stove, and I've got the 2 sticks of butter just melting in here. They're just about melted. And so I'm gonna add the brown sugar. Now we need 1 cup of brown sugar, and this is important. It's packed, and notice the top. There is no extra. Basically, this is 1 cup exactly. I didn't take a knife and scrape it off, but that's the kind of thing you want to do. I found too much sugar can make it like crumbly. Basically, yeah, that's what ends up happening. So you really don't want too much sugar. The ratio of sugar to butter seems to be important. So I'm gonna just take that and set it in there gently to not splash any butter. And then I'm gonna keep it on medium heat until this sugar dissolves. Just kind of stir it a little bit here, kind of help it. And I've got this pointed down because I need you to see. This is a really important part, being able to see this. And I'm going to let that melt. And come into there. Just don't want to see any big lumps or anything anymore. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, and this is kind of an important part. I'm going to turn up to medium high. So it's pretty hot. It's kind of scared me at first, right? I didn't want to cook my sugar too hot or whatever, but it's okay. You want medium high heat. And what we're looking for here is it to start bubbling in the middle. Probably just going to let this, I'm going to give it a little bit of stir here just at the beginning. And probably from here, I'm just going to let it sit. This is also important. I saw many videos, many people telling you to stir this. Do not stir it. When you stir it, what ends up happening is on the inside of the pot, on the edge of the pot, small little sugar crystals can form. If they get stirred into the larger mass, they start to crystallize the entire mass. And you'll get a crumbly kind of result from that as well. It won't be tight. So yeah, don't stir it. And we're waiting for it to start to bubble in the middle. Now, I don't mean the exact center point, but sort of this area here about, kind of just in the core, about where this spatula is showing, that right in there. We want to start seeing bubbles there. It's not going to bubble there at first, right? It's going to bubble around the outside, but as soon as it starts bubbling in this area, about where my fingers are, I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes. 4 minutes exactly. Okay. We do 4 minutes, and then we're going to pour it on the pretzel. So what I'm going to do is as soon as this gets to the right place, I'm going to show you for just a bit, but then I need to move the camera. So I'm going to, you'll get to see me pouring it. You won't get to see it be done, but just know that I'll set the timer. I'm getting ready here. I'm kind of lining up my timer on my watch here. It has little timers, and it's not ready yet. Not yet. We're still, I know it's a little bit hard to tell. You're at a bit of an angle, right? So still in this area, there's this one area here that's not bubbling yet, but we're almost there. Basically, sort of once it's open, boiling, bubbling across the whole thing. Okay, almost. Okay, we're pretty much there. See, once it starts to get to that, 4 minutes. I know. Make sure. Okay, there we go. 4 minutes now. I will see you in 4 minutes. It's just going to basically look like that. We're going to see you by the pretzels, and we'll pour the toffee. Okay, here we are. We're back over the pretzels. There's 10 seconds left. I'm going to go get the toffee. It's still on. It's bubbling fiercely. It's a little bit darker. 3, 2, 1, 0. It's off. I'm coming over, and the first thing I'm going to do is just pour it out here. Try to be kind of even about it. Especially like to try to pour towards the edges a bit, because the middle just seems to be easier to fill. Okay, and there's always some ick in the bottom there, a little bit darker, but whatever. Then I grab my silicone spatula, and I'm just trying to gently even this out. There's gonna be some cracker movement. If you use matzah, that's probably the easiest one I've used, where they just don't move. They're so big, they're easy to deal with. The smaller they are, the more they're gonna move around. It's just the way it is. Right, and I'm just trying to spread this evenly, but I'm also trying to work kind of quickly. I don't want this to cool down too much, so I'm just kind of trying to get it out there. And what we're gonna do here in a second, is we're gonna bake this for 5 minutes then in that oven, right? That's 400 degrees. Make sure it's a good 400. If you're not sure that yours is 400, use an oven thermometer. For example, I know I have to add about 20 extra degrees on my one oven to get it to be Oh, that one's way over here. Look at that. Look how far he ran away. All right. Anyways, get over. Because we want it to be good and hot. When it's comes out of the oven, it should be boiling, like bubbling a little bit. You can see I'm just trying to get that all into the edges. Nice and even. Got almost nothing up in this corner. So I'm trying, come on guys, get over here for me. I want you to get in I want to get this in the oven like now. Okay, so here we go. You see how it's starting to goop up on me there? Okay, I'm gonna get this into the oven right now. It is a little bit hot just from the toffee there, so I'm gonna use a pot holder and 5 minutes in 400-degree oven. Set another timer. See you in 5. Okay, 5 minutes are up and we're just about to pull them out. We're gonna put the chocolate chips on, and I wanted to show you that I like to put them in a little bowl or something like this. I find it easier to spread them. Okay, so I'm just gonna set those to the side. Let's pull out the, oh, here we go, perfect. Okay, this is what you wanna see. Do you see how it's boiling, kind of bubbling everywhere? That's exactly what we want. And it means it kind of got hot enough, basically. Now I'm just gonna sort of shake these, try to get these as even as possible. And again, I like to kind of start with or kind of focus on the edges. I find it's easier to then spread it into the middle. I should have done that even a little bit better with the toffee. Let's see, this just about covers it. All right, and then you could wait for a few minutes, but what I like to do is pop it back in the oven for 1 minute. Let's do a 1 minute timer. All right, 1 minute, see you then. Okay, the minute is up, and I even turned the oven off. You don't need a lot of heat. This is just use the residual heat in the oven, and you can see nice and melty. Okay, then take my same silicone spatula. I'm going really gently. I'm almost just letting the weight of the spatula kind of do this, right? I'm trying not to push too hard, but you can see if you just kind of go over it a few times, just let it sort of drag over the top. You see how it just melts? It's like painting with chocolate. It's like Bob Ross of chocolate. I don't know. Anyways, it's kind of, I'm just sort of getting it even now, and then I'm gonna start looking to pull it into the corners. You know, get a little bit more detailed with it now that it's kind of all melted, and it's more like a frosting now. There's no huge gaps either. And I'm always kind of looking to pull it. If I see a place with a lot of it, I'm gonna pull that towards a place that has little. And I like to get it all the way to the edges, but it really doesn't matter. And I could stop like that and it would still be great, but I like it neat. So you do you here. Just spread it out how you like, as even as you want or as uneven as you want. I guess this is kind of Bob Rossi, you know, you do you. You can make a happy little chocolate tree here and there, and whatever you want to do. It's all up to you. You're the master of your chocolate dessert thing here. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit built up on here. That's where the little guy comes in, because I can sort of scrape some of this off and put it in the area I need. A little bit here too. Of course, you can always scoop it off and eat it too. Or just leave it on there. You can lick it off, I don't care. Again, you do you. All right, we are so almost done here. All right, and then while that's nice and warm still, I could probably wait a little bit, but I wouldn't wait too long to do the next step. See, I'm just gonna keep futzing with this. I'm trying to get it up into this corner. I'm feeling like it sort of needs a little chocolate love. Okay. Okay, all right, you know what? I'm gonna call that good. Yeah. Cha, somebody's lucky's gonna get a big wad of chocolate there. Okay. Then final thing is sea salt flakes. Again, this could be other stuff. I just like to make it a little salty, and I just kind of crunchy salt flakes over there. Not too much, but whoops, that's probably too much. So this area is for my wife who loves salty things. So that was an accident. I'm trying to grab the bigger flakes out of here, and I think I just grabbed a little too much. You know, whatever. Sometimes accidents lead to really awesome stuff, so don't be afraid to just make mistakes, right? Or just kind of sometimes color outside the lines just a little bit, because you never know what you might end up with. So, okay, it might be a little bit hard to see the salt on there, but it's all on there. And now it's basically done. It just needs to set. I could let it sit here kind of overnight, but I like to just stick it in the fridge. Probably even I think like 40 minutes is enough. I'll just put it in there and I'll check on it in 45 minutes or an hour, and then we'll break it up with this guy, right? That's the basic thing. We'll just chop it into stuff with this, and so yeah, I'll see you when this is set. Okay, it's maybe half hour, 40 minutes later. And I actually let it sit on the counter for about 5 minutes. It was a little hot to put in the fridge right away, but just let it cool down a little bit, then I put it in the fridge. And one of the things I do to check, just make sure it's done, is I just sort of lift up a corner of the aluminum foil, and if the whole thing moves together, it's done. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take it out of the tray, or the sheet pan. Don't need that anymore. In fact, it doesn't really help anymore. And I'm gonna sort of spread this out. And then now it's really up to you. I mean, I suppose you could leave it like this and just break pieces off. You could break it up, you could fold it in half, whatever you want. I like to use a dough cutter, and I'll just kind of usually go about halfway here. And just give it kind of a cut like that. It's not a very good half, but you get the idea. I like to make fairly small pieces. Maybe that's like 1 inch or 2-3 centimeters. They're just kind of easy to eat, or maybe a little bit longer, like that. Just kind of bite size, I find is nice, but people eat it no matter what size you make it, so don't worry too much. And you can see this is really pretty quick. I'll speed this up at some point, but I kind of want to get a good couple of pieces in here to show you. So there we go. This looks like the toffee turned out pretty good. Of course, the proof is in tasting it, and I'll taste that. Well, let's do it right now. Okay, yeah, this is good. The toffee is, cracks and breaks and brittle, and the chocolate's good, salt is good. It's all really yummy. Okay. Oh, by the way, I like to wear gloves for this in case it helps keep the chocolate from melting and just keeps it neater and a little cleaner, especially if I'm giving it away as a gift. I'm going to keep, it's okay. These are not breaking quite as well as I wanted them to. So, kind of go with the flow. Well, I'm going to make, probably on this one, I'm going to make some big pieces and some small. And then I'll just put them into a plastic container. Where's my one I've got here? Something like this. I'm just going to put them all into that, and they'll keep in here for a few days to a week or so that this lasts. But there you go. And let me know how it goes for you. You have problems or whatever, let us know. Or if you do find something really cool, let us know that way too. All right? Excellent. The dogs are happy that you're making Christmas crack.